Welcome to Platform Media International. This is Political Arena. My name is Joe Ehizoda. Tonight, we are concerned about the rate of graft among African leaders. And as you will agree with me, the propensity for African leaders to cheat the system and exploit their position to their own personal benefit is the undoing of African development. Tonight I have in the studio my friend Jerry Gbade. Jerry Gbade, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joe. It's my pleasure being here.
Yesterday, you made a very, very comprehensive presentation in the celebration of Sierra Leone independence. And this is what you talked about the propensity of African leaders to be light-handed and cheating their country Commonwealth. Everybody, what is it about African leaders and graft? What is it?
Thank you, Joe. In Africa, people go to office or they come to power not with the intention, majority of them, let me say, not with the intention of serving their countries, not with the intention of developing their countries, but they use the office space as a means of getting rich quick. Now, when they do that, their circle of hangers-on, their circle of friends, family members, and tribal elements, they enjoy the fruit of the government, leaving the rest of the country in impoverished condition. This must stop. If Africa has to compete with America and Europe, they should take the development of their countries very seriously.
Okay, Gary, you just mentioned something which is, I want to be clear about it. Is it that they use the Commonwealth to develop their area of interest, where they come from, or they use it to develop
themselves and their tribes? So when an African leader says, me, he's talking about me, myself, and my tribal members who are close to me. That is why you see when they get to power, they strengthen their security by using their own family members.
Okay, you and I, okay, you're from Liberia, I'm from Nigeria. Let's give, for the purpose of illustration, for clarity, you have somebody like the former president Oponwea. Oponwea is well known.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear a lot of hues and cries about his performance while he was in office. Did they use it to develop the area and the people where he came from in Liberia? Is that okay?
Okay, unfortunately, the region that he came from is the southeastern region of Liberia. I come from that same area too, right? But it's one of the most underdeveloped part of Liberia. Just there's no road going there. The major highway from Monrovia that goes to the southeastern region does not exist. It breaks out into muds and holes. I mean, not potholes. I mean, holes that can
gullies.
Fit, yes, that can fit a 7 to 8 foot high truck in there. So during the rainy season,
you dare not go there.
No car there goes around there. Now, but what he did, he got few people, 1, 2, 3, or 4 people that are closer to him. They became rich overnight.
No, that's not developing his people. That is fortifying his area, fortifying himself. That brings us to the idea: why do they have that propensity for the attitude of get rich quick?
To stay above the game, to be the only rooster in the village to crow. You see, I tell you, there's some roads. They call him, that was a nickname that his followers gave him. They call him Bad Road Medicine. But you know where the roads in the city were going? His girlfriend's house, so he can have easy access there. His minister, so he can have easy access if they're going to sit and have fun for the night, so they can drive, because Monrovia is a sandy area, right? So if there is not a paved road that goes to a particular locale, cars get stuck in the sand. So they use that to develop themselves.
Okay, let me give you an instance. Okay, let's come back to Nigeria too. We have one there currently. His name is Governor Yaya Bello. A week to his to exit from power, he conspired or confiscated $720 million or $72 million. Producer might correct me. I think it's $72 million. To proactively pay his children's school fees that are studying abroad, just some few weeks to his end of his tenure. That is not benefiting his where he comes from. He just himself.
Yeah.
Why I'm asking this? Do you think is inherent that maybe if it's inherent, maybe African leaders need to have what we call psychological assessment or kleptomanic assessment before they come into power? But it's not found anywhere around the world where leaders convert the commonwealth of their people for their personal use. Africa is high in the ranking.
It's high in the ranking. Africa sits right on top because, you see, when before they go to public office, they are poor.
Yes.
They are poor before they go to public office.
That is for sure.
Therefore, when I get there, let me grab what I can grab quick and
No,
go.
that's the question I'm asking.
Yeah.
Why do they have to grab? What is it? What is it?
If we're talking about inherent, maybe it is inherent in us, but I would say no, it's not. It's just the fact that society also condones it. Society allows these guys to do it. Let me give you an example.
Yes, I need that example.
Yeah, in Liberia, if a minister is in office and for some reason he is fired, the news comes up on the 2 o'clock news bulletin that minister is fired. If he dares go to he's traveling tomorrow, he wants to ride taxi, the people around there who are waiting for taxi too don't give him good accommodation. They tell him, oh, you get it from here, man. You're running, you were minister yesterday, you are chasing taxi like we are doing now.
Yeah.
Oh man, give us time, let's sit before you sit.
So you mean it is the people that are encouraging graft?
The people encourage it too, because as long as we keep bad mouthing
people were
former government officials who were dismissed, or that is why it is difficult for people to resign in African countries.
Because there are people who say you have been in government, why are you still poor?
Exactly. So what they do is when they get there, the first thing that they want to do is to grab the first thing that will come in their hand, put it aside. Anytime I can be dismissed by the president, because the Constitution of Liberia says an individual appointed to a position serves at the will and pleasure of the president. Now, at the will and pleasure of
the people that elected him.
No, I'm talking about appointed people.
Okay,
appointed people. Will and pleasure of the president. But it is worse in Parliament. Joe, something happened a few days ago in Monrovia that defies common sense. Yes, common sense. This is the guy who was member of Parliament for 2 terms, 6 years, 12 years, right? And within this, I think, second term, what did he do? He falsified academic record from Ibadan University.
University of Ibadan in Nigeria.
Yes, in Nigeria. Just to gain access to the graduate schools, 2 graduate schools, Cottontown and the University of Liberia that I graduated from. And the irony is, the University of Liberia is separated from the Capitol Hill or Capitol building where Parliament is by a motor road. You can just cross the road, you are on LU campus. This guy served 2 terms. 2 terms, 6 years each. He never went to school to do his bachelor's. What did he do? Falsified Ibadan University
to get into master's.
To get into master's program.
Yeah.
And the information leaked. Ibadan University wrote to the journalists who inquired, journalists from Monrovia. They wrote back and said, this guy has no academic record here. Never graduated from here. So then what happened? The 2 universities expelled him. Okay. They expelled him, right? Omen Boakai appointed him to be a superintendent.
The President Mabaka, the current president.
The current president
Okay.
of Liberia appointed a guy to be superintendent, which is like a governor of a state in Nigeria. Ours, we are unitary, therefore we have counties.
Yeah.
We don't have governorate and what have you. We're not federal. So when he appointed a guy, while the guy is waiting for confirmation from the Senate, we gathered all the evidence, including myself.
And provided.
We provided it to the president of Liberia and said, this guy is an academic fraudster. The parliament of Nigeria wrote to the parliament of Liberia and said, that guy just lied. He falsified document. So because it's an elective position, they could not fire him from there, right? So what the House of Representatives, because ours is two houses, Senate and the House of Representatives.
Yes.
So what the House did, they yanked him from all the subcommittees that he was part of.
Okay.
Because of that. That's the guy now who goes for confirmation hearing to the Senate. And we wrote.
And what did the Senate do?
The Senate confirmed the guy.
So the system too. Now we identify that the people are energizing, giving the oxygen to fraudulent activity by government officials.
Yes.
One. Two, the system, or perhaps the government or whatever, is also encouraging graft. Do we agree on that?
I would say, yeah, they do. They do. Because if they were not encouraging graft.
So if they don't, why would a governor in Nigeria be able to collect money, state resources, $72 million? If I get the number correct, I have to check it. 72 million. $720,000. And to proactively pay his children's school fees. Why is it possible? Jerry, you and I live here. Is it possible for a provincial for a premier to collect?
It is unthinkable.
Okay.
For the premier of DC
cannot
do that.
You cannot travel. You cannot even travel with a private airline.
No,
you cannot.
You cannot.
You cannot.
Glenn Clark.
Glenn Clark was fired. I was here.
Okay, Glenn Clark
was fired.
Fired because of that. Premier of the province.
Yes.
By allowing a private business guy to, I think, renovate his, take him on a trip or something of that nature, right?
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was taken to task because he took a private airline to holidays in the Caribbean, and they asked him to pay back. No, that was something like that. Even having to spend excess money in carrying his entourage, he was asked to refund the money. Yeah. So why is it possible in Africa for a government official to have
enormous power? They can do anything they want to do with the national resources.
Okay. Is it possible to check this? Now that we identified this, is it possible to check the rates of government officials swindling their people of their commonwealth? Is it possible?
Again, Joe, it comes back to what I said earlier. When I become a leader, for example, I consolidate power by bringing my family and friends closer.
Yeah. So why they do that? Why do they feel so unsafe?
It's because when they bring the people around them, people who sing hallelujah praises to them, they will be covered. Because if you have an independent judiciary, independent auditing firm, independent bodies that can checkmate, or independent legislature that can checkmate the president.
Why is for a government, for instance, a governor in Federal Republic of Nigeria, for him to take $700,000 some few weeks? Why was he able? Why was somebody not challenging governor? You are not supposed to take this money.
Again, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
If he has someone who is in charge of the finances, probably the bank governor of that state, who is his crony, his buddy, that will make the money available to him. And two, if he has people in parliament that will not have the guts, not have the balls to call him
to order.
Call him to order and say, Mr. Man,
you can't do that.
You can't do that. Or face parliament, come and answer questions. Why?
Okay. Yeah.
If he has an independent national auditor who will audit the finances of the president and say, look, you just did something that you're not supposed to do. This is greed, this is graft.
In this part of the world, there's what is called conspiracy to commit. And if you conspire to commit fraud, if you are enable a governor, if you are in the position to stop the governor, and you conspire with the governor to take that money, that person will lose position and also go to jail.
Oh, yes.
You see President Trump, all those people who were killing stories for his purpose of getting an election, they went to jail.
Yes.
So why are they not going to jail in Africa?
Hey, man, I just put it in perspective.
Okay.
We are praise singers. We are beholden to the guy who is in power, not to the nation. You see?
Perhaps, let's say, because police are telling us it's time, perhaps the way they will put down our structure enables graft. Because if somebody have the gut to say, Mr. President, Mr. Governor, we don't have this power, or people don't have balls anymore, right? Pardon my words.
And the guy has like an attack dog, right? Read Animal Farm. If you read Animal Farm, you will know exactly. The attack dogs that he has will be the chief of security, the chief of police,
the commissioner, the person in charge of finance. Okay,
so then people are afraid to speak out or to call the president to boast. If you do that, the chief of security will go and pick you up, you disappear. When you disappear, everybody is cowed into submission. They go in the place and they sit. And they say, let's leave it the way it is.
Does it look hopeless?
It looks hopeless, but like I said last night, it takes a leader with the guts, with the political will to do it, to prosecute. You get out of office, they can prosecute you for the looting that you did while you were serving. If the Constitution protects you while you are serving, when you get out,
you face the music.
You face the music.
But let me tell you what one governor said in Nigeria. He said, I will steal so much so that I have the money to fight any charges of corruption against me. He said, well, Jerry, so I think we're getting somewhere. My hope tonight is that, I'm very hopeful tonight, because we identify, one, that is the people who encourages graft. Two, the system allows the governors and president cronies to breathe air into the act of corruption in Africa. But the only thing I'm saying is this: when will people step up to say we are for this correction of this manipulation of this system? That's where the problem lies. Jerry, I want to thank you again for the incisive discussion of this topic, because this is the main bane of African countries. And if leaders do not conspire to take the people's word, I think Africa development.
We have all the wealth. We have everything that the Europeans and Americans go for.
Yes.
Naturally, we are rich, but yet we are poor. Why?
Well,
it's an irony.
Thank you so much for coming, and appreciate everything you have said. Well, viewers, that is the disturbing state of graft in African political system. And I hope those who are listening, and if our leaders are listening, they should stand up and correct this system, because the world is leaving Africa behind. Have a good night. Bye-bye.